For decades, the Hi-Pointe Theater has opened its doors to moviegoers seeking a break from the cold impersonality of the megaplex. Angela Antkowiak takes us inside one of the city's most celebrated landmarks and meets the man who's dedicated himself to keeping this neighborhood treasure alive.
Howdy.
This is the story of a magical place. It's a place where people from far and wide gather together to be transported to another time or another world. Maybe you've seen it before. It's hiding in plain sight under the glow of that enormous Amico sign. It's called the Hi-Pointe Theater, and you'll never find anything else like it.
Hello! Hi. Welcome to the Hi-Pointe!
For decades, this cozy neighborhood spot has been firing up its projectors to the delight of St. Louis moviegoers.
It's a relic from the past, the way movies used to be seen.
It's like being transported. You're just like going back into time. You can almost believe it's 1922 and you're here watching the movie.
The theater recently turned 90 years old, and to celebrate this milestone birthday, manager Brian Ross teamed up with customer and fellow film buff Joellen McDonald to offer a monthly film series showing a collection of popular classics like An Affair to Remember.
And we didn't know, if anybody would come, but it was a huge crowd. It was like 300 people, and they're like, I'm coming every time. This is so cool.
I mean, I got to see classic movies on the big screen. Can't get any better than that.
You've got everybody in the mood. You're showing these old films on the big screen. That's a really kind of magical time,
For many patrons, these films are a nostalgic reminder of a time when going to the movies was as much about the people you would see as it was about the film showing on the screen.
With the 90th anniversary, we're talking to a lot of elderly people who have remember coming here and walking from all over. They would walk up and they say, we had our little section, and everybody from Dogtown would sit on the lower right section, and if you were from Maplewood, you would go over to this other section, and it was this wonderful neighborhood thing.
There was a time when it seemed like practically every neighborhood in St. Louis had its own theater. But while most of those theaters showed a combination of live vaudeville and film, the Hi-Pointe was the first theater built specifically for movies.
We would come on Friday nights and they had some sort of a serial. So it ended with the car going over the cliff. So you had to come back next week to see if they were all killed or if they were back at the party or what.
Nowadays, places like the Hi-Pointe are almost an endangered species. It's one of only a handful of independently run single-screen theaters still operating in the country. And the fact that it's managed to survive the age of the neon megaplex is a testament to the devotion of its loving manager.
Don't take me yet.
He can be a little reluctant to talk about himself, but ask Brian Ross about the theater, and he lights up immediately.
But these are from the mid-50s?
I love this theater. There was something about it that I just loved all the time.
He'd been working for a national theater chain in Chicago when he heard that the Hi-Pointe was up for sale.
Ready?
So he contacted the building's owners, George and Georgia James.
We worked out a deal where he'd supply the building and I'd supply all the brawn, and
a native St. Louisan, he was excited about the possibility to run his favorite hometown theater.
It was always in the back of my mind that this is where I wanted to be.
Of course, keeping a 90-year-old building operating sometimes has its challenges.
It takes a bit of maintenance, whether you have seats to repair or air conditioning and steam pipes breaking. Luckily, we've got the major mechanicals working fine.
Come and spend your autumn years in an Indian palace.
It's a little rough, but it's got character.
And it's that character that gives the Hi-Pointe its charm. Between the retro decor and the amiable staff, it's almost like hanging out at a friend's house.
We'll get you in here. Good.
I mean, what other movie theater has its own pet?
Bella's kind of the star of the show around here too, and if she's not sitting around the chair or the floor walking around greeting people, they wonder where she is.
I mean, there's a dog out in the front, Della. I mean, how cool is that? And when you know the owner of the theater,
There you go, my friend.
it's like a second home.
For Ross, the Hi-Pointe isn't just the chance to run his own place. It's also an opportunity to bring back the intimate neighborhood vibe that used to define the city's movie houses.
We try to make that environment a very special and warm, inviting spot.
Everyone's always happy here, it seems, and I don't know, it's just kind of homey.
It's more than just watching a movie. It's nice people and the smell of the popcorn and the place.
In the age of IMAX screens and Netflix downloads, the simple delight of going to the movies gets lost in the shuffle. But after 90 years, this humble little neighborhood theater is reminding us all just how magical it can be. Why do you think that the Hi-Pointe is still around after all this time?
Because it's special.